Hi, my name is Jocelyn Waters, and I've been a mobile notary for 18 years, but I'm also a financial planner. And I'm here with Aaron Stringer, and he is an estate planning attorney and has been for 13 years. And we're going to talk about funding a trust. You might have heard that term and thought, what does that actually mean? So, can you explain that to us?
Sure, thank you. A trust is, we've explained in another video, but a trust is basically you're creating this new entity and you're taking all of your personal property and you're putting into this new entity. That's essentially what funding a trust is. It's transferring the property from yourself and putting it into the trust. And so that includes a lot of different types of assets. And I will say everyone's situation is different. So context matters as far as what types of property you have, what you want to do with it, what kind of trust you have, that kind of thing. So certainly talk with an attorney with your specific circumstances and get their advice and follow it. So I can speak generally. The home is usually most of our most important assets that we have. So the home you want to make sure is taken care of. That can be done by creating a new deed, transfers it from your name personally to your name as the trustee of whatever the trust name is. And that's where folks like Jocelyn come in. They can help get it notarized, get it filed with the state or the county and everything. So other types of property, bank accounts. So bank accounts can be transferred into the trust. Typically, it's just as simple as going down to your local branch, telling them that you've created a new trust. Hopefully, they'll kind of know what to do from there. But if not, you can ask for someone else that's handled that before and can help you out. But typically, it's just a matter of filling out some paperwork, providing them the name of the new trust when it was created. They might even ask for a copy of the trust, but really they only need what's called the certification of trust, which is like a Cliff Notes version of the trust. They'll probably keep a copy of that on file. So bank accounts are very important. Also investment accounts, so things like stocks, bonds, that kind of thing. So after your trust is created, I would recommend talking to your broker, going through whatever company you work with to help manage your investments, and do the same thing. Just get those transferred into the name of your trust. And I should say also, for all these different things, even though you're putting them into the trust, you're funding the trust, it doesn't mean you necessarily lose access or lose control over them. Because with a typical revocable living trust, you are still in control of everything. So it's not like you're handing over control over it. It's just changing the name essentially, and ownership goes to the trust instead. Other property, so all the stuff in your house, personal property, furniture, clothes, artwork, that kind of thing, and even including a vehicle, which is kind of the exception because we do have a title for a vehicle, but it's still considered personal property. All that stuff would automatically be taken care of when you create the trust, because you typically sign what's called an assignment of personal property. And that's one of the documents, a supporting document to the trust that you sign. And so it basically just says that all the stuff that's in my name is now part of the trust. If there's something in particular that maybe it's high value or high sentimental value that you want to make sure is not just lumped with everything else, attention can be brought to that specific item in the trust, or by transferring it specifically. One common question I get is about the tax deferred type of accounts, so like IRAs and 401ks, and those are the exception to putting everything into the trust, because those actually can't go into a trust. They have to be owned by an individual. So instead of transferring those into the trust, what I often recommend for my clients is to make the trust a beneficiary. Yes. So often you would want if there's a spouse, the spouse to be the initial beneficiary, and then you can make the trust the second beneficiary. Again, this is both a tax issue and a legal issue, so talk to your attorney and talk to your CPA, whoever's handling, to make sure that that's right for you. But I can say that those can't go into the trust just as themselves. So that I think for the most part covers the property that we would want to put into the trust. Again, it's a matter of figuring out what you have, and that's part of the process when you talk to your attorney, and then making sure they're aware of all those different assets, And that includes, you know, you want to make sure they're aware of your home, any other properties, real estate that you own, to make sure that all those are taken care of. Because if a trust is not properly funded, then really it's just a big stack of papers.
It's an expensive, stack of
Exactly.
papers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that it's done right, and get folks like us that will follow up, make sure that it is done right, so that once you have that stack of papers, it means more than that. It's a stack of papers that can actually do something for you and help your family.
Another thing, this is not common, but I do have mineral rights, so that should also be put into the trust, and also businesses should be put into the
Right.
trust.
That's a good point. Thank you for bringing that up. So businesses, again, it can be as simple as assigning business interests. So if you have an LLC, even if you're just a member of an LLC with other members, you can assign your membership interest to the trust, and that way it will be controlled along with all your other property, so that it's properly transferred to whoever you choose.
So that it stays in the family and
Yeah.
it goes on in perpetuity.
Exactly, and that's the idea. You want to take care of your family, leave a simple roadmap for them so they can take care of things after you're gone.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Aaron. I do want to point out in every video that we do offer a basic trust, which most people can take advantage of the basic trust, which is $9.97, which includes the trust, will, power of attorney, and advance care directive, as well as the notarization of the trust and the quitclaim deed for one house. If you do have more than one house, there is $100 for each extra, at least at the time of this video. I'm sure that will go up in the future, but that's what it is right now. Also, you can make payments, and I don't know anyone else to let you make payments on
it's
a
very rare,
trust, right? So $50 a month for 24 months, which comes out to $1,200, which is still an incredible value. And you can also make changes during those 2 years if you do that $50 a month plan. So pretty awesome deal. We don't want money to stop people from getting this very important paperwork done.